Hello, my name is Steve Budin, and if you're a gambler and you don't know who I am, then you must have been living under a rock for the last 20 years. In the 90s, I had a small idea that wound up forever changing the gambling world as we once knew it. A street bookmaker at the time, I thought, how cool would it be to go offshore and open up a sports book that legally dealt to the entire world? And I did just that. First in Panama, then off to Costa Rica, with 200 telephone clerks dealing to 10,000 gamblers on a football Sunday. And I did, in fact, forever change the way bets were taken. Customers were handled, and bookmaking was defined. Only the legal part? Well, Janet Reno and the FBI, they had their own opinion of that. When they closed me down in 1998, we were a $100 million business and well on our way to $1 billion. In fact, we had the first ever online sportsbook and casino already in beta testing. My friends, it was a long way from the Brooklyn streets that my father had come from and the Miami streets that I had worked for so many years, unimpeded prior to going offshore to make it legal, or so I thought. When the walls came crumbling down, I had two decisions to make. I could give up, take whatever millions I had, and simply call it a day, or I could reinvent myself and take yet another industry within my category to the next level. That's when I met Al DeMarco, who had an idea that became the basis of my very next move. Al wanted to take an industry that was distrusted by almost everyone and turn it completely around, and I was all in. So I decided to switch sides and go from booking the bets to actually advising those very same gamblers on who to bet on, forever leveling the playing field and giving unprecedented access to gamblers all around the world who really needed that edge. Once again, I took a street corner business run by less than desirable thugs, con men, and hypocrites and turned it into what's now known as the online sports handicapping business, adding a level of transparency and honesty never seen before in a business like this. Gone were the days of hot rooms full of shysters, smiling and dialing, claiming to have inside information and board referees, and born was an era of legitimate journalists, sports gamblers, and betting crews making their information available to the public for the very first time ever. Now, let's be clear, I'm not a handicapper. I don't study games, nor do I make my games available for sale. I have an opinion like all of you out there, and it's a pretty damn good one. And I make that opinion available in my free pick videos every single week during the NFL season. The picks I sell, they come from my crews, the New York crew, the Baltimore crew, and on and on and on. Now, don't get it twisted. There aren't four old-timers sitting around the bar with New York crew t-shirts on, shady backgrounds, and inside information giving me these games. I simply name the sources. I call them my crews so we can keep track of how they do. But in all honesty, they're just gamblers that over the years I've come to respect because their opinions are much sharper than the general public. They're not mafia guys, they're not mob guys, they're not ex-referees, but they're also not run-of-the-mill normal gamblers. They do have tremendous insight and a long history and track record of beating their bookmakers. And yeah, I used to be one of those bookmakers. That being said, I hope all of you enjoy the website. All of its free and premium features, including scores and odds, free picks, and our premium best bets from the top handicappers in the country, as well as my coveted crew plays. In addition to releasing best bets, we assign ratings to all the plays. And guys, a 100-time rating is a maximum play, but it doesn't mean that anyone in my organization is actually betting $100,000 on a game. It means whatever your biggest bet is, that's what you should bet on that game. If your biggest bet is $500, then bet 500. Are we clear? I hope this answers any questions you might have, and I hope you're ready now to experience the single best sports handicapping website on earth. Have a great night, and get lucky.